tight, gloves on, shield down, so the love's gone. I bump it in, I'm getting to the rhythm. No friends out here, we turn the stage lights out. I'm at the finish line, and then we miss y'all. You hit the top, shout out Huddle, figure the wrist off. I let it go when it's lift off. Talking about me, y'all when it ain't make the list, it's got them all pissed off. Call me Kevin Helms, I was brought in to win. Word to West, Buckles making drag racing great again. I like my racing in straight lines, stay in my lanes. Quit my day job and chase the world like I'm Pelican. Or I'm switching gears like I'm chick with a stick. Or stand a man and margaritas got you feeling it. I'm talking woosah, by you boys do it big. Crawfish and Wally, shout out to Craig Bourgeois. You wanna make it in a song and do the Justin Lamb. Win a bunch of races and you do it with the fam. You do the Kevin Brandon, lay the smack across the land. Then you do the L-Ride and you come out like the world champ. You've been waiting all winter long, hearing them go on. Ready to be out-driven, I'm working my way to the top to doing this shit for a living. If you want that money, be double out. And if you want that trophy, take double out. And if you wanna be a winner, be double out. And if you wanna be a champ, take double out. Be double out, take double out, be double out.
What's up, everybody? We are back at the BE00TAKE00 show. I am your co-host, PJ North, along with the one and only Fluff. Tebow, what's good, baby?
I mean, we're only 5 minutes late because of all the shit going on in this truck right now. Computers, I got Johnson wheeling me down the road. But we got a cell phone that's good enough. We're going to have to roll with it.
We're okay. We can hear you. I think everybody can hear you. If there's any issues, you'll let us know in the chat window. Welcome, everybody. It's episode 17. We are back. We got a lot to talk about this week, but before we do that, if you're watching live on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. That helps us out. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, don't forget to hit that follow button. And also leave a comment. Let us know. Chat with us here in the chat bleachers. They are open. I know we got some folks waiting in the... They're here. They have joined us. So let us know where you're watching from if you're watching. I know there's some that lurk in the shadows. We were told this weekend. People told me they dig the show, and we appreciate that. That obviously means a lot to us. So thank you guys for checking us out for 17 episodes.
I have to say, like, all that stuff that's normally on my computer screen when we're doing this, like, I've always thought, do I really need to see all this, you know?
Yeah.
Right now, I miss it. I miss it right now.
Full production. That's okay. I've done crazier ones, so it's all good. Jennings, we will tell Johnson tell Johnson that Jennings says what's up. His little brother is watching. So hello, Johnson. Look, Johnson's on the TV, Mom. We are live in full effect though. Before we do that, before we get too far into it, I would like to give a big shout out to Fuel Factory. Don't forget 20% off all merch using code Bohannon20 at checkout. You can visit fuelfactoryusa.com. Obviously, they got some cool stuff. I'm a Fuel Factory user. Tyler is a Fuel Factory sponsored athlete. So pretty cool that they're giving back 20% off all merch using code Bohannon20 at checkout. They've got a bunch of dope stuff too, and I think they're probably getting ready to release some summer stuff. I know they did like a spring release, and they'll probably get ready to do a summer thing. So again, this episode is presented by Fuel Factory and Tyler's Association. So shout out to Mark. We almost put two of them on the dance floor in Fuel Factory, but we'll get to that. Before we do, let's talk a little bit about the headlines. There's some news around the pits. Bandemir has a new property, supposedly. The Bandemir family is out there spending that dough, and they are building a new facility. I know there was some doubters, some haters who thought they might not do it, but they're doing it. You ever been to Bandemir, Tyler?
Never been to Bandemir. I always wanted to, and then I'm a little confused on this. I guess I knew they were kind of looking for something or a place to put it. I didn't know if they'd already found something. I guess they hadn't, but now they have. I didn't read into that. I was going to ask you about it while we were on.
They bought like 110 acres or something like that, 112 acres.
How big was the old one?
Probably, I would say similar if they bought some. I don't know how big Bandemir Speedway, because I think that they had, I wish we could talk to those folks, because I think in Morris, Colorado here, I guess is where the actual thing was. It doesn't say. I was trying to see if there was like an About Us on their site. The site's still active, which is cool because they kept that up, right? Obviously, because their goal is to open up. Here we go. In 1958, John Bandemere Sr. Purchased a parcel of land on the west side of Denver, nestled up against the hogback, leading up to the Rocky Mountains. Let's see if it says how big that is. I don't know, but it grew. This is kind of crazy. Their building originally started out as one thing, a spark plug replica timing tower. It grew 10 times the size that it started at. They spent a bunch of money, which is cool. They ended up at 23,500 for a capacity in their stands. That's kind of fun. It does not say, though, how big the lot was, but 110 acres is a shit ton of land in Colorado.
Anywhere. That's a pretty good piece. So I would say that you're looking at another major facility, especially they've been in the business of being a major facility for a long time, so I'm sure they know exactly what they want.
Yeah, they're a great family too. Obviously, my dad's been out there, got family members out there in Denver who have been to the race a bunch of times. We know a bunch of racers from out there too. So it seems pretty cool, man. Love to see more tracks being opened. Obviously, you don't see that very often, but when you have families like that who are diligent and who know how to, build a facility and do all that, it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Maybe we'll make a trip out west to Bandemere. Who knows? So that's kind of cool.
Give us a swing.
Yeah, we need that old Western swing back, by God. Other news, new combo and alcohol. I just saw Drag Illustrated. I just kind of read through it a little bit. Drag Illustrated posted that NHRA will allow, let me see if I can find where did it go? Here we go. NHRA's top alcohol dragster and funny car categories will see a major addition in 2026 with the introduction of a third engine and fuel combination, a supercharged nitromethane setup, very similar to the pros. I saw that they've tested, Del Worsham kind of brought this whole thing up, and Terry Haddock, kind of similar to the pro setup. I think there's obviously, you can't just run like a pro deal, but it's very similar in as far as tuning and wise goes. So that was announced. That should be cool too, because I think alcohol right now is really popping. There's a lot of guys that are coming up through that to make their way into top fuel. Kind of cool.
I'm a little confused by it, I guess, because we've got a nitro combination that has no supercharger and a blown alcohol combination, and they're already talking about the nitro combination being so much better. I guess I'm curious as to like how they back.
Yeah, so here's what it says. We lost Tebow. That's okay. Someone hitting you on the cellular. Yeah, here's the technical specs that they announced today. It's a combination of a maximum supercharged overdrive of 16.99%, one magneto and coil setup, a 4-disc clutch with 6 primary levers, no clutch management allowed, and no artificial fuel heating or cooling. Funny car bodies must meet current nitro class specifications. So whatever that means. I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. It's kind of one of those deals. I know that Del Worsham, obviously, and team talked a little bit about it. And so interesting to see, but nonetheless, we lost poor Tyler's face. I wish I would have screenshotted on that. I should have screenshot that face that Tyler was just froze on. What say you, though, Tyler? What are your thoughts on that? I don't know enough about it. I just thought it was cool that they're adding another setup. Oh, we lost him. Poor Tyler, man. He's having a rough go of it. Johnson's out there driving him. We're gonna go to single shot, PJ, till I get him back, but we'll get him set up. We lost him for a minute. So those are the headlines. Obviously, a lot of things happening in the news of drag racing. Let me see. Did we get you back, Tyler? Can you hear me now? All right, now we can hear him. Andy's good. You can unmute yourself now. Maybe. They hitting him on the cellular. We're having a tough go of it. My tough guy. It's okay. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Fix it.
Sorry. All right. So, do you have any feedback on that combination? I'm sorry.
I don't know enough about it. Kind of like you said. I'm assuming the overdrive or whatever, and that's going to play the Magneto. That's going to be the biggest like thing that puts them together, puts them closer together or whatever. I don't know. I'm excited about it to like dig into it because I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, the resurrection of alcohol would be awesome, right? The more alcohol cars, the better, because I think that those do breed into pros, and we need more pro teams. It can't just be John Force Racing and Antron Brown can't do it himself, and you know what I mean? Like we need more teams to be competitive. Obviously, every time we lose,
and you've got, I think you've got too. Like we talked about, pro stock truck being like the class that sportsman guys in some way, shape, or form could afford to run.
Right.
Maybe not this combination that we're talking about, but I do feel like to an extent, not that any of us have any knowledge to do it, but it is more cost effective to like make this step, I think.
Yeah, I would think it's got to be more reasonable to a certain extent, like I said, and out of that, I'd love to talk to some guy. I know, Rachel Meyer and that whole team at Meyer Racing, which is like, they basically have full on, it's a turnkey operation. You come with sponsor money or whatever, and they make it happen. Maybe we'll get them on the show, chat with that whole team, Megan, and I call her Rachel, I'm sorry, Megan Meyer, to come on and chat with us about it, because I'm interested. Like I said, look at Sean Bellimer out and Maddie Gordon now. Obviously her dad ran, but now Maddie's going to roll into Top Fuel under Cap. So I think it's like kind of a breeding ground for more pro teams. Be interested to see. I know Taylor Vetter over there, or Taylor Janik, I guess, or Taylor running Top Alcohol. I'm sure there's some, want to run the other stuff too. And I think that anybody who runs that stuff probably is like, man, I'd really love to run a professional car. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of the path. I know that's what Cam Foray, as a close friend of mine, always told me, like, that's kind of what his thing was, is like run alcohol to get into a pro car and whatnot. So interested to see, but interesting news. We'll see what teams decide to develop that over the winter. Shout out. Look, okay, here we go. Ricky, it will be a merger. Ricky Pennington's got some feedback. It will be a merger from the heritage rules. They can change a body and run 2 types of series. Okay, that's kind of cool. So they can basically have a built-on body that runs the old school funny car, or the heritage funny car, or vintage funny car, whatever they call that stuff, nostalgia funny car, and then run pro funny car as well, or run alcohol funny car as well.
That's sweet. I'm all in for that.
Yeah, that might open some stuff up where you can swap in cars and swap classes. That's kind of fun. I love that. Thanks for the insight, Ricky. We didn't put that together. So I know that there's a bunch of those guys out there that can do that too, because the nostalgia funny car thing is super wicked. They're very fast, very cool, but they run that like old school stuff. So maybe that is a good way to make that transition. All right.
Do some of that at Boise, don't they?
Yeah, they do it at Boise. They do it at California. That's a huge thing out on the West Coast. I know that.
Kind of a West Coast thing.
Yeah, that whole deal. And then obviously Cam Foray's, I think, father-in-law, same deal. His dad, father-in-law, is a huge nostalgia funny car guy. So I know that they've run that at even like the national events and stuff too. That would be. Could you imagine you show up to a national and you're like, I'm double entered. I'm in Top Alcohol and I'm in nostalgia funny car. Thank you. That would be sick. I would love that. That would be cool. All right, NHRA at Maple Grove. I'm trying to pull up the results here. NHRA.com. Let's see.
Our boy. I know one. Our boy Double A.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this guy, hold on. Speaking of Double A, he buries the lead. He texts me, congratulations. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Da-da-da. Not 2 minutes later, I see on Facebook, my guy wins. I'm like, my guy. Congrats to you, dude. Like, what the hell?
I think what he was doing is guilt tripping us, because he texted me like, "Congrats on your failure."
Oh, he just wanted to hear it back. That little shithead.
Yeah, but I will say that I've known him. I mean, we've been really good friends since we were toddlers, and his biggest problem has always been staying aggressive. And I mean, he had some luck towards the end of the race with some car troubles, but
sure,
if you look at the first 4 rounds and how he hit the tree, I mean, I was really proud of how aggressive he was. And
I would also like to know he's number 1 in Division 1 right now. My guy's holding up the number 1, okay, right now.
He told me he's going to all of them. He's full blown now. Which,
I love it.
That's his home division now,
Is that his first win in stock?
No, I think so. He actually finished second Division III once or
Okay.
twice and
Okay.
won a couple divisions.
That's what I thought. So he's won a couple divisionals. He's not any slouch. So shout out to old A double there. What a great kid, man. Too. Yeah, he's moved out to Division One. We miss him already, obviously.
I'm heartbroken over that, but
yeah, we'll
it's
get.
good
Yeah,
for- it's
we'll
good.
see. She might be tired of D1 at some point. She'll be like, "Hey, we're going back to Taylorsville." Isn't that where they're from? Taylor. I always
Yep.
want to say Taylorsville.
I'll have a big welcome home sign.
We'll have a big parade for A double. Let's see who else turned on a win light here. I'm trying to find super stock. I can't find who actually won.
Carl Martell, wasn't it?
Carl Martell, that is correct. Carl Martell put her on the dance floor, and so he's got 105 in just his first event. Bob Lasco was the runner-up.
And that's the. I know we were talking about Jason Kinney earlier. I think that was where I can't remember which way it went. Did he runner up Super Comp, win Super Gas, or vice versa?
Oh, is that Lasco? Or the other
Jason
one?
Kinney.
Yeah, Jason Kinney. So he won Super Comp and runnered up in Super Gas. So he put together some numbers. I always loved Maple Grove. I have fond memories of Maple Grove. I enjoyed it thoroughly the 2 times I got to go there. I think it's a really cool racetrack. I don't know. You guys were supposed to go. What happened to that? Obviously, the schedule changes with the weather and everything. Is that kind of what transpired there?
Yes. The rumble strips.
Old Johnson trying to keep her off the wall.
But the weather didn't look great. My dad talked about going to Bowling Green.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of chances, with our schedules to go racing together. And
yeah,
I get to watch him make a run in that stick car. It's like, it makes your weekend.
Did Decker go to Maple Grove?
He did. He drove Huntsbury stuff. And
okay.
I think he lost. I think it was third round.
Okay.
But I know he worked on that stuff for like 2 weeks, thrashed on it, fixed a bunch of it.
Okay. And I see my guy Bubba Link, he got down to the either semis or quarters. I just think he's got one of the best names in drag racing, Bubba Link. He also won, I think, at Charlotte maybe already this year in the national points. So my guy's doing it, yeah. It's so funny is I run into him at Bradenton, and I don't think he knew who I was. I knew obviously who he was. I don't think he put 2 and 2 together. He's just like, who the fuck is this guy talking to me? I love it. Yeah, so Division I getting started at Maple Grove. I don't know what their schedule looks like. I haven't seen, I guess, because Virginia counts as D1, right?
Yes.
So what do they have? They have New England this weekend, right?
They have a double at Richmond in September. I only know that because Mark Alley lives like 45. Austin's uncle lives 45 minutes in there. And she scheduled her wedding that weekend, so Mark can't even. And it's amazing. I laughed at it for 2 weeks, but I know they got a double there. I'm assuming. I think they still go to Lebanon Valley, maybe.
Okay.
And,
they've got New England National this weekend, right? The New England Nationals is this weekend?
Yep.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, here we go. So they go to Maple Grove. They go to Lebanon Valley the week that we're at Bowling Green. They go to Numidia for a double. They go to New England for a divisional in August. They've got a double at Virginia, and then they've got Cecil County. So that's pretty crazy that only 2 – no, they do have 3 national event facilities. It's funny because for us in Division III, we go to all national event facilities except Bowling Green, which is kind of wild, right?
Yeah, it has been a national event facility at times.
Right.
I did see Johnson was showing me the comment about how points are accumulated. I think is what it was saying.
Oh yeah, here, Josh. This is a great question. Josh Martin asked, "How does the points work with claiming races?" And it's the same, Josh. So when he explains this, it's the same across all. Stock, super gas, super street, super comp. Technically not super street because they don't do nationals, but same concept. Go ahead, Tyler.
So if you lose me in the middle of this or something, just take over. But
that's okay.
So you get 14 races, 8 divisionals and 6 nationals, and you take your best 3 of those 6 nationals and the best 5 of those 8 divisionals. And that's your best 5 divisionals and your best 3 nationals, and then how the round scores are accumulated. You get 10 points for showing up basically or qualifying. If you lose first round, you get 30, and then it's 40, and then it's 50. I believe so. Basically, how this works is like 4th round gets a bonus point. So
right. Exactly.
Yes, or it's not rounds. Sorry, there's a bonus point for like the 16 cars or less.
Exactly.
So
Quarter.
depending on how that
Basically,
falls.
when you get to eighths, quarters, semis, finals.
Yep. So a 7-round race, we could start there. It would be 30, 40, 50. 50 would be a third round loss. Fourth round loss would be 61. That fifth round loss being the quarterfinals would be 72.
Right.
And then 83 for a semi, 94 for a runner up, 105 for a win.
Yep.
The one kind of weird thing about it is a 6 and 7 round race. You still get 105 for a 6-round race.
But
win,
you only get 84 for you only get 84 to runner up.
62, 51. But a 5-round race gets 95 and an 8-round race gets 115. But 6 and 7 get 105. It's kind of weird. I mean, a 6-round runner up is usually can come back to haunt you. I mean, I've had a couple of those that I wish I had back at times over the years.
Can't relate.
But
I can't relate. I wish I could. I was just like, oh man, I missed one.
Yeah, the more that I deal with points though, like with US 60, and as we talked about it with TV promotions, it's hard not to like their format. To be completely honest with you,
when it boils down to it, it makes a ton of sense when you actually get it. The only thing I still don't understand, and Josh, I'm with you, is how did the claims? So let's say that I go to 8 nationals. Let's just say. All I do is run an NHRA. I'm running 8 nationals, and I'm running 6 divisionals. How do I get to claim those races?
Backwards. So for national, like if you are chasing the world, right? Don't care about the division championship. You can go to any divisional in any division, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Now, when it comes to winning a division championship, you get so once again best 5 divisionals of the first 8 that you go to, unless you tell them beforehand that you're not going to claim it. That's a whole nother topic. But so in those 5 that you claim, 3 of them have to be in your home division,
right? Which
you decide on at the beginning of the year, whatever that may be.
Yeah, and you can get 2 out of division claims.
Yep. Now you can go to out of those 8 races, if you go to the first 3 in division and you got 3 scores you like, you can spend the rest of your time out of division and just be working for 2 more.
Can you imagine you're just driving around, going to Yellowstone, going to Iowa, going to Earlville? You're just like, I just showed up here.
One of the years Luke either won or did really well. Didn't he win Division 7 one year or something like doing
Probably.
that? I think he did, or finished really well in Division 7, and then it's just kind of odd. Sometimes those guys, you'd see them come out the next year and they got
there's some chess. There's some chess behind all this, Josh. To answer your question, there's a little bit of like you're figuring out what to claim. So here's my other question. So when you hit 8 divisionals, so let's say you ran all 8 divisionals and you're claiming 5, right? When you go to your 9th divisional, you cannot better. You're out, right? It doesn't matter. Okay.
Win it, and it's just going to be in a red box down at the bottom.
Yeah. So that's the kind of crazy thing. You got to be kind of pick and choose what you're doing and be cognizant of when you're going to heat up, for lack of a better term. And those
guys that were chasing the world, kind of like Luke's the example that I use, but there was a time when Fletcher, he might have actually swept the Western Swing at one time. Or
his very first world championship, right? When he quits his job, isn't that like the famous story? He quits his job and he's like, I'm going on the West Coast, and then he wins all 3.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure he's won all 3. I know he's won 2 of them, but he would, and then eventually he gave up on championships. But those races, now the part that hinders them is going to Acton, whatever the Montana one is, Yellowstone. That's going to be a 5-round race, at least in super stock.
Right. Yeah.
And, so you're only racing for 95,
yep.
But they look at it as having 4 to 5 to 6 guys that they think can win the race versus going to a Division 3 race with 100 cars,
right? And
50 of them can win.
See, that's
so
the crazy.
I mean, strategy in it.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that goes into it. I'm glad we talked about that, because I've never had any luck at divisionals or national. I've run it up 1 national, as everyone knows. I've had 0 luck in points. I think it's going to be a great idea. Every year I go into it, I'm like, all right, this is the year I finally put it together. And every year I am massively disappointed by my inability to score points when it matters.
Hey, you know what you got to look forward to, though? You've got here in about I think a month, Jake's All-Stars points start over. So you
Hey,
you
that's
look
where I'm
forward to
talking. Yeah,
that.
see, that's what I'm swinging for, baby. That's what I'm always looking for, that mid-season break.
They keep you, in there. They
Yeah.
just keep you locked in.
Oh, that's good stuff. All right, let's talk a little bit about. There were some other things that went on this weekend. We had Stampede at Dallas. That was a Flickr Promotions deal down there. I know they had a couple different winners. Donnie B got it done. If you've ever had a conversation with Donnie Burleson, man, he is one intimidating and one intelligent dude, and he can also drive a race car better than most. So Donnie B got it done, and then the Peep Show was back in full effect. Peeps Pennington got it done in the roadie. I saw Sandlin did good in the no box side. I think Jake Howard did good on the no box side. I would love to go to. I've been trying to go to a Texas race. Right, last year I almost made that run to Pennington. They do the belt buckles, and I always thought that was cool. They've got Dallas, the Motorplex. I've been there for a race. I watched and announced, but I've never got to race there. I thought that might be cool. Have you been to Dallas and raced?
Yeah, that last year that I went after the championship, me and Hunter drove out to Dallas, and it was really cool. We ended up doing a bunch of really cool things, and
Yeah.
I got to race Kyle Rizzoli basically for my last chance.
Oh, that was the whole deal, right?
I had to beat him and win the race, and didn't beat him. It was a really cool experience, though, for sure. And the place is awesome. I mean, the parking out the back, which they've been working on, was dusty, but it's just one of those facilities that you get to, and it's so massive that it's just cool.
That's cool. Yeah, man, it seems like a great race. Like I said, they do a good job. I think it's $20K a day. I think the warm-up's 10, so they had plenty of excitement to go around down there.
Everybody from a whole list of Texas winners, obviously, which that those guys always want to talk about from Texas. They like to tell you that they're good, and I mean they prove they prove it every week. I love to mess with Leghorn about it, but I mean there's a large group of racers from Texas that make it happen everywhere they go. Peeps is just badass. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he doesn't race nearly as much as he used to, but you remember when Peeps Show, man, when Peeps was going and Hunter and those guys from Texas were making it hard on people for a while, for sure.
Yeah, you got, Peeps is he's $1 million winner. Hunter, that year, that 1 year that he won everything he showed up to, felt like he couldn't lose. That was crazy. And Donnie B's got plenty of wins of his own. Sandlin.
Yeah, I think Sandlin wins a no box almost every time he goes. So
I don't
know if it was Chad or Eric, but it was one of them.
Yeah, Jake Howard. I don't even look at his runs, but just what he does down there in no box tells me that I'm scared to look.
Right. Yeah, some of them guys are, like I said, I think Texas is so synonymous. If you really look at it, Texas is synonymous with like the invention of what we consider modern bracket racing, right? Yeah. Like Luke, the Richardsons, all those guys that came, there's
Hefflers.
Hefflers. Like everybody kind of came up in that like area of a thing, and then like you have the Tennessee area, and then Louisville. To me is known as like stock, super stock alley. It's like almost like everybody you ever knows like from that area, right? Or races in that area. California to me was always like comp world, and so it's cool to see Texas still being, like I said, a hotbed. And especially cool that the Motorplex continues to put on big races like that, big money bracket races. Because, a lot of national event facilities aren't doing that. Kennedale used to be the hot spot. Now they've got Extreme. I know Extreme Raceway Park. My dad put the safety walls on there. There's a lot of people that say they race really there. Nice. Yeah, they race at night because it's too hot during the day. They only race at night. I was like, that's kind of cool. They don't have a curfew. Like, sick.
US 60.
But yeah, man, so a lot of things going on there. The other bracket racing news today, obviously TB Promotions, the Larice Motorsports Insurance 100K presented by Vintage Trailers is sold out. Like NWO, baby. Sold out. I don't know that I expected to see that. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, first day, obviously I expected it to sell out over time, but like, to sell out the 128, obviously the 100K is always gonna sell it. That's not the question. To sell out of top bulb entries is that's pretty crazy. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be electric.
I think it goes to show that I mean, we don't even take a lot of credit for that. That's solely to do with Beach Bend and what
Sure.
that I think that place to some is a destination kind of racetrack, and it's a cool place with a lot of history that people want to see, and it's crazy to me that it did that, especially Martin's like not far from full, but we're pretty far into that. And,
Yeah, I think there's like 10 spots now, or 20, maybe 15 spots left there. I forget.
I know we've got over 350 or something. So but it still has a handful of spots left, and we've been at it for about a month, and so I didn't really know what to think, but like I said, I think that shows you what Bowling Green offers, and what that format offers. I think it's still kind of one of a kind since I called Randy Helton and told him that I wanted to steal his idea, and but it's special. The shootout itself and where it's at.
Yeah, I don't. If you guys and Jeremiah Hall, man, if Jeremiah's listening, shout out to Jeremiah. He put it best, right? No, there's really not a reason to split, because if you look at it, it's $100K to win, $50K to runner up. Like I mean, obviously you could chop up a little bit for the rest of the folks, but like it's pretty stout. Like it's 100% payback on the shootout, right?
Yep, has been since day one. Johnson was saying that this morning. He's like, so like, how much does the shootout bring in? And I said $256,000, and he said, what do you pay out? I said
$256K. Yeah, man, it's cool.
Yeah, and so it's wild. I mean, it's a 7-round race that literally pays over $250,000.
Yeah, it's just an awesome event too. I mean, we have a great time. Last year, old T Sons got it done in the pickup truck. It's just a lot of fun. If you guys haven't been to the beach, man, July 3rd through the 6th. The 50Ks, like I said, are sold out on the top, so you better call, beg, get on the alternate list, or take the box out of your car and learn how to hit the bottom. One of the two. Those are your options as of right now, and I think there's like 12 left in no box. So
it's crazy, and I tell you, when we first did that was like when the Million post the list of all the winners every year, right?
Yep.
And like in my head, that's what I wanted. Like that was going to be the race, right? We posted the winners from the history of the race, and it's already kind of formed that. I mean, Garrett Griffith, Troy and Gary, Lane Dickin, Tracy's sons, Dave Conley. It's just the cream rises to the top in that deal for sure.
Yeah, man, it's an awesome time. And then also we got that's our first Ezel race cars warm up, so that's going to be awesome. Johnny's putting the car together. It's going to be sick. I can't wait to see that. That's the first day. Everybody can enter that, so you didn't miss that one. We've got it open there. $250 you can get in, by God. It's exciting,
and I don't have to touch it.
Yeah, that's even better. Tyler ain't got to do none of the work. He'll be ready to go. You love to see it.
Wait on Johnny.
You love to see it. So, yeah, the Ezel race cars warm up Thursday. The Larice Motorsports Insurance 100K presented by Vintage Trailers is sold out as of right now. Get on the alternate list. We see a lot of that. Obviously, people drop out, but I do think it's going to be full, and we're going to be good to go. We're excited. Hold on. I would like to note this right now. Let me note this for everybody listening. Do not text Hunter. Do not text Tyler. Tell him you want an entry. Do not text your buddy who knows Tyler that tells him you want 6 entries. Pre-entry was open. It is now closed for you, my friend. Hit that alternate list and let us know, and we'll see if we can get you in.
The best part is when Brian asked me, how many do you have on the alternate list? And I'm like, I give them to Megan. And then like as we go through it, it's like, well, I missed 4 or 5.
I missed these 6 that these guys brought me. My bad. You know what? That's my B. I love it.
812-430-6687. That is the alternate list. If you text me, it's a shot.
Oh man. Well, we're excited. Obviously, that race is going to be electric. All right, man. Let's talk about it. We had a weekend. Myself and Tyler, we had a weekend. We tried for that BE00TAKE00 sweep. And let's first talk about super quick. Derek Keener and Jeremiah Hall. One thing, I ran super quick for the first time, I would like to say. I had to wear Han's device for the first time. I'd never been in a fast car, really, other than Brian. So I'd never done this. I will say this. I appreciated every single official that was checking for arm restraints, checking for the I appreciate. Shout out to Johnny Dawkins because he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, do you have a Hans?" And I didn't. I had to borrow one. So shout out to Tyler Smith. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for doing that. It's I look, man. Whether you like it or not, or don't want to use it, whatever, that doesn't matter. The fact that they're checking and they were making a concerted effort was awesome. I appreciated the format. I don't get the 440 to 459 thing. That seems like whatever, unless you're just qualifying, which I don't think there was enough cars. I think we were too short anyway, but that's irrelevant. The rest of it, I really enjoyed. I thought it was cool. I got to drive Shauna's car. I got to go fast. It was sick. I did a really good job first round. I did an excellent job first round. You'd have been so proud. I was 18, take 7. I was like, sign me up. You're so proud. And then Larry Mays laid down 4 total next to me next round. So real nice, Mays. Appreciate that.
It's kind of a dynamic group of guys that have raced around each other a long time.
Yeah.
But it's
kind of a bloodbath to a certain extent because like those guys race each other everywhere. I would love to see more of them at the Verge, man. If you guys run that thing and you haven't been to a Verge, if you're faster than 450 and you have not been to a Verge race, we got to get you out because I think you guys would really enjoy it. It's either way. I thought that part was really cool. I enjoyed the super quick thing, but Jeremiah Hall getting it done and Derek Keener with the Spider-Man car. If you guys haven't seen that one, he's got the little
bunch
baby.
Of US 60 guys just beating up on them. I mean, they consider themselves Chandler guys, but
sure,
they're US 60.
That's US. Does Chandler even exist anymore?
No.
Yeah, exactly. That makes them by default US 60 guys. No, but 2 different combinations I thought was cool too. You saw a lot of different combos. You saw the baby blowers. I was naturally aspirated. I went 454, which is crazy.
My run was disqualified actually because I do not.
Would you go 439? Oh, you went 440 something without the advanced TT.
But I don't have advanced TT.
Yeah, tough sledding out there. And then Tyler did not have his charger, so he didn't even get to race.
No, I had it. It went bad.
Oh, it went bad. I'm sorry, it went bad. My bad. And then what a crazy round because you had Anson, and Anson blew up. So the first round you got 2 comp singles. Neither one could make the show, and then someone gets a comp single. So how does that work the next round? Does it just turn into a bye? The next
so that it just turns into a bye for second round. And
okay.
It's like me and Dad were talking. Like, I mean, we had the Aspen there that Jeb was running, and you know, between that and Dad's there with his car, and I have the Super Stocker, and then I'm trying to race that too. Like, it's not that big of a deal. To race it. I just loaded it up. You know, save some runs on it. Megan's gonna race it this weekend.
Cool.
You know, there was just no. You know, I'm fine. Okay, I got enough.
No, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I get it. I did think it was cool though. Like I said, I thought Super Quick was kind of fun. I enjoyed my first go at it. I would definitely do it again. Like I said, I'm cool with the Hans thing. I wore a Zamp version of it, which was actually super easy to lock in and do the whole thing. So if you guys are on the fence about it. Yeah, I borrowed it from Tyler Smith. Shout out to Tyler because I think Dawkins asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you have one?" I was like, "Absolutely not. This ain't even my car, my guy. I do not have any of his things." I had gloves, a neck brace, arm restraints, and coat and pants. That was what I came with. I didn't have anything else. Yeah, but we made it. So Super Quick was cool. The National Open, though, we did it. Stock, super stock combo, man. I'm very lucky.
Smoked up. Dude, I want to point out one thing real quick about the combo.
All right.
Third round, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was on the hill watching you, and one of our listeners actually didn't know it until time. But Dylan Guy, and you were rolling down through there, and we were watching you look over. That, by the way, best spot to watch drag racing in the country, hands down.
Oh, on the side, you talking about left lane on the hill, quarter mile. Yeah.
Yep. So you're looking, and you kind of, you started hitting the gas a little bit earlier, and then you sat it down, and you did a good job all the way around. And he looked at me, and he said, "It looks like he took your advice on playing the race out a little bit earlier." And I was like, "Oh, you listened to the podcast? That's cool." I didn't even, like your win light was on. I was pumped, but I thought about that. And but no, that was just a moment that I thought about. It was cool. It
was pretty cool, man. I after just what a absolute horrid start to the year, just absolute hot garbage. I've put up 90 points in three races, which means I've lost first round. Okay, not good. 3 straight first round losses, man. And
I mean, I didn't make it the first round, so I guess that we did have the two worst possible starts.
Yeah, it was a rough go. So I think, you know, after changing, obviously, if you guys haven't watched the YouTube, PJ North Racing on YouTube, I'm going to give myself a shameless plug. I don't care. You guys can check out the full video. It's a long one this time because I started this process a couple weeks ago. Kenny Schindler, my motor guy, he is dead set that this 3-speed is going to pick it up. So I borrow a 3-speed from Holman. I put it in. Let me just preface this whole thing with I, myself, put this in the car, okay? I am not mechanically inclined. That is not my strong suit, but I got it done. I figured it out. I get it all done. I roll it out. Trans brake it'll hold, but it rolls forward first. It like rolls like 6 inches. So I'm like, oh, it's got to be like a band adjustment or something, right? Well, then I get on the chip. 4200, it just starts pulling through. My chip is set at 5800, so 4200 is not really going to work for me. Okay, we're at a struggle at this point. And so anyways, I was like, all right, well, I'll be able to figure it out. I feel like once I get to the racetrack, someone will be able to help me out. My link, you know, I've checked the linkage 48 different times. I thought all these things. We get there. I make a lap. It doesn't run. I'm like, okay. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. So I go up there and I'm going to hand shift it this time. And it runs, but it doesn't run faster than my Power Glide. So I'm like, okay, let me ask around some more. And someone's like, oh, it's got to be internal. And I'm like, that's all I needed to get my brain going. I'm like, all right, we're changing it. I tell Brian, and Brian just looks at me like, who's we? And I was like, brother, you are along for the ride, okay? So here we are.
When he texted me, I texted him, this is around the same time. I was like, how's it going?
Oh, we lost you. Hold on.
Hadn't talked to him.
Hold on, start that story over again. You texted him, and he said, how's it going? And go ahead.
Yeah, and so I haven't talked to you or him. He says he smells like training fluid, and instantly, right? 3-speed didn't go too good.
Yeah, my guy stepped down into a 7-quart pan of tranny fluid, spills it everywhere, has to text Brock and say, hey, you got any oil dry? Sure enough, they brought us some oil dry, man. We got it changed over. The crazy thing is this, and you guys will obviously, if you watch the video, I learned this the next morning. So we worked all night. Me, Brian, Shauna, Brooks, and Casey, we all went to dinner. So we're at dinner, and at this point, I've got the transmission in. Everything's ready to go except the shifter. I just have to finish wiring it and put it, whatever. So it's like 11:30 at night, and finally the car won't start. And I'm like, I'm out, dude. I got to go to bed. Well, I'll come back. I'll finish this. I left it on jack stands outside. I was over it. So I come back the next morning, and I'm working on the linkage, and I'm like, oh, my, light bulb goes off. And it snaps into the cable. My dumbass, I was like, damn, I bet that's what happened with that 3-speed. It wasn't snapped into that cable. And I was like, damn, well, we pot committed at this point, buddy. So we put the Power Glide back in, and I did not hit the tree good all day, but you are right, man. I'll tell you this. I felt really good about driving the finish line, so thank you for all the help. Obviously, Tyler was there to kind of crew chief me the whole way. It was cool, man. This is my first win in that car. I've had it now almost a year and a half. Just felt good to win the combo too, man. As I'm like kind of rolling, and you can see in the video, I'm like hella excited because I'm emotional about it because like I just don't win that often. And, like, I get excited still. These other guys who don't get excited, I get excited still. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. I think go ahead.
The good – so you had to buy 3 cars. And, like –
what a nightmare.
Yes. I've been around, okay? But, it's not like I've been there every round, you know, telling him what he's going.
Sure.
Honestly, at this point, I lost second round. I didn't even make round 1 for my bye run and super quick. So, my day's shot. I'm hitting the wheelie bar. Okay?
Yeah.
Tall boy bush lights. They're going down. And I said, you know, my dad won this race one time, and in the semis he had to buy, we dialed up 1,200, shut off at the 1,000 foot, went at 0. You should do that. So we dial her up. Everything's figured out, right? This thing hadn't moved shit.
Yeah, so I dial 1174, you know?
Yeah. He grabs the trans stages, grabs the trans brake, puts it on the floor. The thing does a wheel stand out of the boots.
My trans brake power, the power that runs the trans brake solenoid, the solenoid is internal, so there's just a power, you know, a butt connector on the outside, and it must have come loose. Well, not must have. It did. And I'm like,
It
oh,
did.
hell. So I get back to the trailer, and I'm like, oh, hell, this thing's broke. We got to figure this thing out. And I'm like, I know it's the power. I already knew because I knew that it was old. It looked like it was like done in 90 and never been changed. So I was like, I know that this is what it is. I get under there, and that's what it is. We fixed it. And then we put her on the dance floor in the final, man. Nick Morris, obviously, he wins a lot, so it was cool to race him in the final. He got loose, and I wish that Matt Forbes were here. I did give a shout out to Matt Forbes. He had me dying. I wish Matt Forbes was here right now doing the live round analysis. As he was doing his impression was impeccable. But I'm looking in the rear view because I can't. It's dark, right? Like you said. So I'm like looking in the rear view, and I'm like doing this number, looking back and forth, and then I see him go to the left, and I'm like, all right. And then I kind of look, and I'm like, oh, he's not getting any closer. He's not getting any closer. So I just shove it in neutral, shut it off, and I'm like elated, man. I mean, I'm losing my shit at that point, dude.
Do you still wait? Like for me, so my first final round I was ever in, like quarter mile NHRA, was at that race, and it was in Super Street, and I was shifted on the stop. And
right.
The shift solenoid fell out, and I didn't, so I reached over when it hit the high side gear and just figured I was a little bit slow.
Yeah.
16-year-old Tyler didn't think about the fact that like coming off in low was going to pick it up half a second. So I shut it off at 1,000 and coast through, and I go 1060 and I lose the race. So like now it's like beat into me that until the freaking wind light comes on down there, I can still go.
Yeah, I waited until my wind light was on, until I crossed the finish line, and then I'm like, I'm losing it, at that point. I think for me, and we talked about this, like, had he been able to get down the racetrack, I don't know that I win that race, man. I picked up 400s all of a sudden, and we had this discussion. When is it going to pick up? When is it going to do this dumb thing that it does? Because it's a super stocker and it just has a mind of its own sometimes. I shout out to Go Dead On, right? Shout out to Logan Back. In the run completer for 4 straight rounds, I never made a full out run, right? So 4 straight runs, it shows 11:61.7. I thought that was so cool. I was like, damn, I don't know if this run completer's right, but it looks cool. And there, I didn't. Let me tell you something. I didn't enter that one in the sheet because I don't think that run completer is going to say 11:61.7.
Hey, no, and I've thought about it some since then, but we were talking about what to do on the bye run, and you were like, I'm just going to stage and back up.
Yeah.
And
you're like, nah, heat cycle.
I was.
Yeah, you were adamant about it.
You talk those. So just keep doing that. And I don't know. I mean, we simulated part of a run, but not a whole run.
Right,
so
we simulated
got
60-foot cone
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we got all of it back.
Yeah, I don't know. It was what a time. I will say also, after putting the power glide back in, I ran my fastest lap ever. So my car was like, "Oh, you trying to change me? Let me show you. Let me show you what's good, baby." I was like, "Okay, all right, sick." But the time slip is messed up, so I couldn't even put that one in my app either because none of the numbers are correct. So I have no idea if it was right or not. Doesn't matter.
No copy-link double flip on the switch.
Yeah, so it was still cool, man. Like I said, I'm very lucky. I was super happy with the way I drove. It was nice to turn on the wind light, and it was cool to get the check, with my name on it and trophy. And I will say this is probably the coolest part. This is kind of sick. They gave this away. I don't know if they've done this every year but the Clay Jones, it was cool, man. I really love this to go with to go with my others. I was very happy. It was very cool. I am still elated, right? Obviously, I'm very excited about it. I beat running Chuck was not fun. I didn't enjoy that because I was like, how the hell did we get each other? Then I had to run.
That was the whole deal.
Then I had to run the other SSH car in the country. So I run Bellinger, and then little Ricky. So we talked about this, and Ricky, if you're still listening, me and Tyler, I said, hey man, he's probably holding. So but I need to make a good run here. I need to be like good up front. Against Ricky, that was my best light. So just throw that out there. Thanks, Ricky, for bringing out the best in me.
I told you right before. I'm like, do you think you can be red? And you said no.
I couldn't be red if you let go for me. Like, that's how far away I was from being anywhere near red. I was, we lost Tyler again. I was not anywhere close to being red. I mean, it was crazy. I don't know why or what happened, but I could not let go worth shit. I was consistent. just consistently bad, which normally would have ate me up, right? I mean, we talked about this. Like, if I hadn't had changed transmissions, I would have been ate up. I would not have. I don't think I would have done it. I would have not. But like going through all that work, I kind of had to be like, all right, we have to see how the race plays out because that's the only, you know what I mean? Like I would have been ate up the way I was letting go. So I'm very, like I said, I kind of was happy that I turned that around and was able to keep somewhat of a level head until 1,000-foot cone. You know what I mean?
You had a lot of other stuff. You had a lot of other stuff to worry about in the process of that race.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it helps. Sometimes.
Yeah, so it was good, man. And then my guy Tebow puts her almost on the dance floor on Sunday. What was your, obviously, first off, let's talk about how fast the JTP motor is. That thing was humming.
I cannot express how freaking awesome this car is. How much fun it is to drive, how consistent it is, which it made a fast run in the final, but
so did everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I looked at the guy next to me. We're both exactly like 0.28 fast to the 1,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, but no, it was Saturday. I let go 4 times. I was between 40 and 45 on all 4 of them, and finally thought, okay, well, that's just what it's going to be. So I made a change on Sunday, and I missed once in the final. I was 37, and I'm still getting used to chasing everybody.
Yeah.
So when they red light next to me, I'm bound to like catch it and really miss. And I was 60 once, but I think I was 10, 12, 20, and 20. Other than that, so I mean, not racing a ton. I was pretty happy with that. Really happy with how I'm driving the finish line.
Yeah,
really
I was really happy.
With,
I mean, I thought you did. I mean, you look even in the final what you did, right? Your 37 take 1.
Yeah, just kind of.
You have to get behind 7th out to win, like. And we talked about this, right? Our goal is to like get there to a certain extent. We want to take the finish line 90% of the time, right? I mean, that's kind of the goal.
If you think you can kill what you think in your head you need to, and you can get there first, I mean, obviously that's a no-brainer. You take it, and when you're dialed, I was holding a lot until that point and was dialed honest.
Yeah, you made a time run in the buy. That's the crazy thing. We talked. He's like, yeah, I just made a buy run. I just made a time run lap. You're like, we should be good.
With Terry being a 980 car and running like 130, and I knew that he was just going to make a good run. And Terry makes a lot of good runs.
Yeah, he gets on the unfortunate side. You'll see if you look at his runs, he makes a lot of good runs where he's on the unfortunate end. He's either like a couple thou red, or he's like a couple thou at the finish line and he's behind for no reason.
Yep, and he's not the one you want.
Right.
And being that it was dark at the finish line, and I was in the right lane, and with the window net and everything, I just felt like not having a ton of runs with a 20-mile-an-hour spot, that the car's good, just trust it, make a run.
Right.
And, it basically I decided at 3 that if Johnny won, he's going a tenth and a half slower than me. That's easy.
Yeah.
To judge.
Different race, right? Yeah.
But if Terry wins, we're gonna make a time run, and if Johnny wins, we'll shut back off because I haven't been to the finish line yet. Even in the time runs, I don't want to go 150.
Same. I never made it to the finish line.
Yeah, I didn't want to go 150 mile an hour. Didn't really know if I could or not.
Right.
And so even in the semis, I did even against Terry, I did kill like 8 thou and a couple mile an hour just to make sure I didn't go 150. But it was really easy to like tell what I was going.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I made that decision after the wind light came on, and like I said, the car was insanely good until after the rain, and then it just picked up 300s and 300s more after that, which everybody did, but I wasn't ready.
Yeah, what were you dialed in the final? 897?
895.
That is so fast. I don't think that's a fast third gen, my guy. Like,
dude, and it just works. Like when it takes off, it feels like it's like when I was going 10-0s with it.
Yeah.
Like it worked really good, but it feels like it's a better working race car right now at 890.
Dude, it's almost like, because you said it was built as a modified car, right?
Yeah, and but it's still just like an Ed Quake kit that my grandpa welded together in the floor.
Sure.
It's not anything really special.
It's crazy that sometimes though that like comes together. The faster, you're right at that peak where it's like really, really good now.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of good. I've got to say my uncle's never. If I've told him that I thought we needed something and I couldn't make it happen at the time, he's always made it happen. And
yeah.
We've got a really good race car.
Yeah. The son was yeah, Ricky Pennington had he was doubled at 9 cars. Ricky's doubled at 9. This is a tough break here. He's doubled at 9 cars, and he has me and Kenny. And so I get him, and I'm 22, and he's in the right. See, again, for me, like, I wear amber shield, so the sun really is like zero problem for me. But I wear an amber shield all the time, so I'm kind of like used to it. And yeah, he had tough breaks. He had come right back around and got it again. Got it again. He had tough go of it there, but he ended up running up on Sunday. So all things considered, he put together a pretty good weekend for little Ricky.
He's a bad dude too.
That's what I'm saying. I got lucky. He missed it, and I'm like, sick. I can drive it down here, and I'm kicking it. Well, shut it down. As Dylan Guy said, I shut it down against Kenny, and I was like, yeah, man, but I got to start pumping. I mean, I got to really be prepared because when I'm going to hit him, I'm going to jump.
It's like the wind-up cars. You got to pump you got to wind your foot up.
Yeah.
Slam on the brakes.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to jump on the binders pretty good. Like I said, I felt like I did a really good job, and you did too. I felt like I listened to what you told me, which is good. I was able to take constructive criticism and teaching and coaching, and I was able to do it. So we did good.
That's the thing with me and you is, like, I don't always explain stuff the best way, but you. No, I mean, we've been friends long enough that you get my point, and
I get the gist of where we're going. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like if I go to Brian with that, he's just gonna argue back and forth with me for a half hour and then go out there and do whatever he wants to do. Like, I'm not saying that I can make it better or worse, but I do like that. Like, if you give me advice or I give you advice, we try it.
Yeah,
like,
well, the only time that I almost missed was we talked about when I ran Kenny, and I dialed down because I was like, he's the fastest car. I've drove against 970 cars basically all day long.
Yeah, I was a little nervous on that one.
And then I dialed.
But confidence is a big key. So I wanted you to dial, like, I thought you should dial up one, but you seem confident in your number.
I just really thought, I was like, all right, now's where it's going to pick up. This is going to be the time. I could just feel it. We're so close. This is going to be it. I know it. And then it didn't happen. And then I lucked out. I did a good job. That's when Dylan was like, damn, you really jumped on the binders. I was like, in the video, in the in-car, it doesn't look like it stops. But I got to imagine from the hill, it probably looked like, damn, this dude shoved his... Yeah,
you got a freaking boat, and it just lays up running down.
That's good. Good stuff. Man, the National Open was fun. We're going to get back after it this weekend, and we'll give them hell. But, all right, man. Combo of the week. What do you got for me?
So I was thinking about it, actually, and it's more of a situation than a combination. But so I think it's 1967, but you can't run super modified. Well, let me put it this way: Corvettes, like mid-year Corvettes, like my dad's car, can't run super modified.
Why is that?
It's a sports car.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's considered some about sports car, and like back in the day when comp started, they just beat the hell out of them.
Okay. That's kind of wild.
But they're allowed to run. We can run H altered because we've been talking about
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put this. It would run the index maybe 0.2 over, but it would just be cool, right?
Yeah.
And you have to run H altered with it, and it's just kind of odd to me. Like there's those kind of situations like that doesn't in today's world that doesn't matter. Why do we still have that rule?
Right.
And it's the same way with like AS and BS and super stock. It's got to be 67 or newer. And so I can't run my 66 Chevy 2, but I can run a 67 Chevy 2.
Oh,
and there's just like so there's a couple of things like I said with the Corvette and Supermod and in an Ultra class, and some situations like that are just kind of odd, but it makes for some cool stuff like the Cobalts can come over and run H altered also.
Yeah.
And they are Todd France actually runs H altered automatic.
That's right.
In parts of the year and is a rocket ship.
The old HAA. What a great combination of letters on the window. HAA. You love that. Altered automatic. I didn't know that. I forgot that that's what Franz ran. Yeah, I always think comp, like I said, those weird things about comp is kind of what makes comp cool. I wish that and maybe I just haven't seen it, but I think that it would be cool as if they had like some 10-minute series on NHRA, like a YouTube video, just like 10 minutes of just like, hey, this is Comp Eliminator from the last national event, and this is every comp. There's not that many comp cars. It's not like you had to interview 40 guys. There's 20 max. Right. So like, we should talk to them and figure that out. I would be interested in it, just because from an engineering perspective, it's all it's really cool. Like I said, so that's kind of a wild thing. All All right, we're going to get into it now. We've got a top 25. We're going to reel these off. We've been talking for an hour, man. Matt Forbes was almost right. We were going to what did we say? He said the first, whatever people thinks it's going to be the longest, we're going to make it doubly long. That was before Tebow put her on the dance floor. So, but we're going to get into the top 25. We're going to reel these off. We're going to start with 25 through 21. Maybe. There it is. All right. Starting with number 25, we've got Lucas Walker. Number 24, Doughboy Williams. 23, Mikey Bloomfield. 22, Jake Clayton. And 21, Mr. Larry Larson. We wanted to mix it up a little bit and throw in some of those names. Any of those 5 that you want to just give a little insight on?
I feel like there's a lot of those names aren't guys, well, other than Larry and bracket racing side of that those 5, they're not winning everything they show up to, but they do, they're
getting down. They're getting down to rounds like every time for sure. Lucas obviously just put it on the dance floor for 10K at the team race, and so did Doughboy. He was on the winning team. And Mikey is just he's just like quietly put a lot of rounds. I think he's got a runner-up. 2 runner-ups, right? I think recently, or a semi and a runner-up. He's done some damage.
Yeah, I know he's been in quarterfinals in at least 3. Like he was in a quarterfinal in Vegas. He was in a quarterfinal in a lot at least, and then had another one in there. So
he's making good laps. But Larry Larson, we want to put on there because Larry Larson's just got cool shit. And you know what's funny is I actually had a conversation about Larry Larson this weekend, something randomly. I don't remember why. And then his name I was like, oh damn, he won in that Chevy too. He beat Lyle Barnett and whatever that.
75 grand. So that was we had some guys from home go to that.
Yeah.
75 grand to win, 28, 10, 5, and it was prepped, but it was like it wasn't, wasn't a radio race, it wasn't no prep race.
That's kind of cool. And that was at Shady Side, right? Shady Side, small tire deal.
Yeah. We had some boys from home, Isaac Preston, who terrorizes pretty much everything he shows up to. They're bad fast. He lost to Lyle at 4 cars. There's some fast.
Yeah, man, I thought that was kind of cool. So we want to throw him in there just for that win. That was kind of cool this last week. Obviously, this is the first time we've done this in a few weeks. So going through 20 through 16 here, number 20 is Josh Pickett. Number 19, Jason Briggs. Number 18, I put Emmons Bros, but it's really the entire Emmons family. They've got 4 of the top 10 points in Division 4 stock right now. That's just stock eliminated. They are 4 of the top 10. And Landon just took over the All-Stars for Division 4 stock, so I thought that was cool. Number 17, Peeps Pennington. Number 16, this is my guy right here, and we're going to talk a little bit about this one, John Biaggi. And Biaggi comes here because 2 reasons. He is 1, bad dude. 2, he's got maybe the sickest tow rig in the country.
1,000%. Like, I don't care what you show up with, okay? It ain't going to be as cool as Biaggi.
Yeah, John B. For those who don't know, he's got a hardtail Spitzer top dragster car, one of the last Beautiful ones, car. I believe, right?
Yep, one of the last cars, a 78 Chevrolet pickup truck. Was it red?
Yeah, they're all red. The whole thing's red. He's red on top of red on top of Brandywine.
Yeah, so all of it, like he's had a few other dualies like that.
Yeah.
And, immaculate, okay? You can eat off of everything that he's got.
So sick.
His trucks are always red Gold Rush living quarters trailer, and a beautiful
and a 4-flat dragster. But so we're at Verge. I love John. He's a great guy. John is like it's such a vibe guy. He's a great guy to have around. Such a vibe guy. And so he shows up. He's like trying to figure out his combo to get down the racetrack because obviously a couple different things he's like shooting for and all that stuff. So first round he gets by the guy. I forget either the guy's ripping it next to him and Biaggi gets there. They both go like 3/10 above, and I was like, okay, a little weird, but okay. The next round Biaggi lays down like I think he goes 4:13, and the guy next to him goes like 4:15. And then in the final, Biaggi's like, I asked him, I was like, oh, y'all going to split anything up? Don't feel pressure. He's like, nah, I think we're good. He lays down 13 total in a 4-flat class. I understand that people are doing top dragster, all this bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I get it. That's not the point. The point is, John Biaggi did it, and he progressively somehow managed by the final. Didn't run 4-flat before the final. And by the final, he's like, oh, my bad. I misdialed the tune-up for the first 3 rounds here, and he puts her on the dance floor. What a great run!
Think about it. It's Sunday morning. You're on tee box number 1, and they give you 6 balls to swing at.
Yeah, he took a few breakfast balls.
Yeah, hype.
Yeah, it was cool, man. So John Biaggi made the list because, like I said, he's got cool rig, great guy, and he also
And
races at like the wildest racetracks doing quick 16 shit, like just the craziest shit.
yeah, he is. I mean, like you nailed it when you said he's like the vibe guy, but he's also a nut.
Yeah.
Okay, and like he ain't scared of nothing.
No, he really
And,
isn't.
But I did want to mention, like, me and PJ went over this list this time. Like, it was hard. There's not a ton of racing. And
Yeah,
there's not anybody that's, like,
the rain and
wrecking.
weather, and there's
Yeah.
not anybody that's like destroying it, like you said. I think we've looked at,
Yeah.
you know, there's
So,
guys
like-
that aren't on the list, right? Like Taylor Tremoski, obviously comp, he's doing damage. There's people at Top Dragster, Top Sport. There's people that we talked about, right? Obviously, this is a really hard thing to do when you think there's been a million races this year. There really hasn't been.
There hasn't. No, and kind of basically what we did was, like, outside of the top 10 for this week's, you know, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily, you know, dead on in order how we feel.
Right.
Just kind of, you know, filling in guys that we know have been wrecking it. Like Josh Pickett.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
He had
dude's
a
on
huge
heater.
start to the year, and he had a great run at our Twin 50s. He was doing damage there too. He got, I think he put down a couple 6-7 rounds each day, type of thing too.
Yeah.
That's why I think like we're gonna continue as this list. I think as we get later in the year too, it's gonna really narrow down to like you're gonna see the players are. It's very similar to the college football thing, right? Kind of flips around until then. 15
by
through 11.
September.
Yeah. Let's see. 15 through 11. Number 15, Daniel Young, as he cleaned the floor at the team race. He doesn't get to race that often because he's a fireman. So he can only race certain times. He's got an ex-super stock car, and he was doing damage at Holly Springs, right? Or no, where was they at? Is it Gulfport or Holly Springs? Where they do the
No,
team
it
race
was
at?
Montgomery this year.
Oh, Montgomery. Okay, so he was doing damage in Montgomery. He made the trip up from Florida. So Daniel Young. Number 14, Jason Kenny. Number 13, Sean Belliamer, who has done nothing but win. All of his claims are wins, so that's pretty wild. Number 12 is Ernie Humes, who cleaned everyone's clock a few weeks ago, and that's all he does in North Carolina is wins. And number 11 is Dallas Glenn, the leader in the clubhouse in pro stock right now, with a lot of finals and claims there for Dallas Glenn. Any of those before we get to the top 10 that you want to talk about?
You know, when you said something about Dallas staying on the list, and I just haven't paid too close of attention to pro stock, but I instantly went to the points, and I mean, my man's leading the world
By
so,
50. By 50.
Yeah, so that's you know, Dallas is definitely having a great year. Like you said everything about Daniel. You know, he's doesn't get to race a ton, like you said, with his career, but the dude can swap feet with the top 1%.
I think he got on us too about because I called it the worst mustache in drag racing. next to Tyler's.
Yeah, and yes, okay.
And
These two right here,
Johnson's not old enough to have a
well,
mustache. I'm gonna shave Johnson's mustache this weekend when he's sleeping.
We're gonna. I told Johnson I would keep mine until I took him home in a few weeks, and then I would get rid of it.
I love it. All right, how about numbers 10 through 6 here? At number 10, Chris Whitfield. Number 9, Ryan Montford. Number 8, Nathan Prose. Number 7, Darian Bosch. And number 6 is still Austin Prock. These are like where the list starts to tighten up, I think, a little bit. And so we talk about Chris Whitfield, obviously leading the world right now in Super Comp. He's put up a lot of damage. Ryan Montford has done a ton of damage in, I think you raced him, right, at St. Louis. Nathan Prose, though, at one point had won like 28 straight rounds in Super Gas dating back to last year. So he came up from nowhere, and we put him right up there because he was doing damage. I think he won the shootout this weekend, too. So, like, he didn't obviously win the class. Shout out to Jeff Jensen. Jeff Jensen won Super Gas. But just crazy. Like, I think as we look through, you know, the 10, Whitfield, Montford, Prose, Bosch, and Proc, that's a pretty stout there from 10 to 6. What say you?
I think at least all of those guys have been to 2 finals in their last 2 to 3 races. Like 100% in the last 2 or 3 races that they've been to have found finals. I know Darian won. Did he win? He won both in Dallas.
Yeah. It's not even fair.
Did he win one at St. Louis or runner-up?
Runner-up at St. Louis. I think it might have been semi at St. Louis.
Okay. I knew he was deep there, and then he wins both. I think he beat his dad in one of the finals, maybe? Or he beat his dad at some point.
I love that their mom's just like, how am I going to get both of y'all idiots up here?
Yeah. Well, that's like, they've got it figured out.
Yeah.
Badass. And Ryan Mumford is. I think I've already talked about it one of the weeks we did this, and he's really like underrated because I think he just doesn't. That's like what he does. He drives that car now, and
Yeah.
There's no way by now that you don't know who he is. I mean, bad dude off the bottom and can drive and knows his equipment and got a really, really good team behind him, and it's showing.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that it's a team effort. I mean, I know it's stock eliminator, but it's still cool to see like the Copo deal and all that stuff. And like I said, he's putting it together. All right, top 5. Here we go. Number 5 is G-Dub, Gary Williams. Number 4 is Cooter Hidalgo. Number 3, Sean Langdon. Number 2, Jeff Serra, and our new number 1, taking over number 1 ranking in the world. How about CG? Corey Galitti. That guy's real good at bracket racing. That top 5 list is tough.
Listen, G-Dub, I'm gonna put all the faith in my man G-Dub. He ain't going down.
Yeah, he has racked off a few wins and runner-ups. He's done some damage.
The Sean Langdon one, I mean, look, he lost the lead in the championship for Top Fuel, or like in the chase for the championship.
Yeah, he's down 2 points. Right 2 points to smoke. Yeah.
Who cares? Tell me the last. He also won a $50,000 in the last 2 weeks.
That's the real question. Do you think there's ever been another pro who's ever won a bracket race
while leading the world?
While leading the world in any of the professional categories. Rampy would be maybe the only one who's been close.
Who?
Rampy would have been maybe the only one who's even like had an opportunity.
I would be willing to bet that Jeggy did it.
Okay, Jeggy. Yeah, that's fair. Damn, I forgot about Jeggy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeg. My bad.
And Langdon's probably done it in the past, to be honest. But that's kind of your short options. And then he's that bracket car. It doesn't come out like we were talking about the other guys. He races a few times a year. He gets out of a top fueler, comes, wins $50,000, gets back in the top fueler the next week. That ain't
That's what I'm saying. He goes from winning He goes from winning the 1,000th top fuel race. Then he wins the 50. Then he goes back and puts her in. I think he lost in the semis in Chicago, right?
Yeah, he won the mission.
The mission, yeah. He don't miss in the too fast, too tasty challenge. Shout out to Mission Foods. Man, how can we get Mission Foods to sponsor our podcast? That's what I need. Send me some tortillas and some chips, my guys.
I will take that. Cooter won. He won one and runner-up one in Dallas.
Cooter just doing Cooter shit, man. I mean, yeah, it's like it's almost unfair sometimes when I see Cooter. I'm just like, how are we supposed to beat him?
I feel like it's unfair every time I stage next to him.
I'm 1-1 against Cooter, so I'm trying to get back up 2-1. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll happen. I don't know. So top 25, very interesting. And again, obviously, last number 1, Corey Galitti. Corey's really making a concerted effort to just like do damage all year long. I would say he's up probably $120,000 this year, $100,000 somewhere in that ballpark.
I'd say he's won that. Now I will bring him down a little bit because he has been running through some equipment.
Yeah, my guy. Look, the question wasn't not how many cars have you fucking blown up.
Yeah, well, what was it like at the Winter Series, which last year? But I mean, like they had to stop racing a car because it blew up and destroyed the car. Okay, like it bowed the mid plate. Like I mean, it was destroyed. There was nothing like the whole back half of the car. I mean, I give him credit. I like his effort. When he tears it up right. And that was just I had to throw that out there at Corey. But I mean, just lights out. And he does it like this ain't the first time he's went on a run, and it won't be the last.
I think in the words of famed poet PJ North, I wreck the rig, grab another ride, come back and win like I'm Corey Galitti. You know what I mean? It don't matter, dog. My guy, man.
Since he was, what was he, 16 or 17? I mean, look, my man, it don't matter. And I'm with you, okay?
Spectacular. No one does it in more spectacular fashion than young CG. And OG CG, what a great crew chief to have on the team / financier. Team mom. There you go. What a great team. So yeah, CG, our number 1 overall ranking. All right. Well, before we go, Johnson, do you have any insight you would like to give the folks at home?
In the top 25.
I think it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
There ain't really anything I would change about it. I feel like it was definitely pretty close to the last couple weeks of racing.
Yeah,
What do you think about Galletti? You think he should be number one?
Yeah, but man, does he tear up some shit.
Man, does he tear up
Like
some shit.
every week. That's why you see him driving something different every week, because he's tore something up.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
All credit to him. He's
Run through it.
one of the best racers around, but he tears himself up.
Hey, buddy, that's the beauty of drag racing. I say it all the time. If you got money, they got entries, by God. So,
And if you keep winning it, it's easy.
Right.
Listen, we ain't getting ahead, but we ain't falling behind.
that's all you can do. Keep your head above water. We've done it another week here, man, at the BE00TAKE00 show, episode 17. I hope next week we get to have the same conversation about how well I did. Tyler can't race, but I hope that we get to have the same conversation about, damn, PJ really did a good job. I don't get those very often, but I hope. Maybe Jim will come out there, Ray Thurston. Hopefully Jimmy will show up to US 60 this weekend as we hit the big bucks. That's the last thing here looking ahead. The big bucks is this weekend at US 60, 10K on Saturday and Sunday, $5,000 SummerSlam, which is right up my alley. They knew. They were like, hey, we're going to call this a wrestling-themed thing. PJ's going to show up. 5K shootout on Friday. I'm excited. I'm excitable.
I told Johnson if he wins a 10 grander, he can take my spot next week, maybe.
Deal. We will guest host Johnson. If Johnson Rayner wins this weekend, he will be our guest on next week's episode.
Yes, there you go.
Dude, I'll be flopped out in the first 10 minutes.
I will say, sorry that today with all the stuff I had going on, guys, I know it makes it not that easy to watch, but I had to go down here and get him.
We love a good Johnson sighting, man. Johnson's one of there's so many young guys too, man, that are really cool. I posted today. I saw that Trevor and Jamie Wiggins posted a picture of young Eli, and I made a joke that, this was before Eli was mouthing off to me every week. But man, the young guys in the sport, it's so crazy because we used to be like those kids. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, we used to be Johnson, and we used to be like, that used to be us. So it's very cool that we get to hang out, and these guys like to hang out with us. Yep. We haven't gotten too old yet.
That was the whole reason that, when he wanted to go on tour with me at 14, I told him yes. Never thought his mother would allow him to hit the road with me for 6 weeks at 14. And she said yes, and we took off, and now it's probably what I look forward to almost top of my list every year is getting to do this.
Yeah, we're happy that he's around. School's out for young Johnson, so he'll be on the world tour here for a little while with us. All right, guys. Next week, we will be back with the BE00TAKE00 show with some feedback, talking all things. Next week, we got Verge. We'll give some feedback on the US 60 race this weekend, NHRA's in New England. A lot of things happening, so don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the follow button, all things. We will see you next week here on the BE00TAKE00 show.